And now for chapter 11. The title of this chapter is Cold Spring. It's a cold fall day, so it is appropriate. Today the world is full of disharmony, a place where truth has become a thing of the past. Freedom is in peril, and projection and control rules the day. Neighbors are guilty, police are guilty, an organization is guilty, and instead of truth, they continue to project, lying and making something out of nothing. Everyone seems too busy with something else, even though the flu pandemic has much of America and the world at a standstill. I wonder what it is that takes precedent over freedom. If they stay on their projected path, then we are all in danger. Never before have I experienced a spring so cold and unusual. It is a sign, I believe, from God, that we are at a critical tipping point in our planet's evolutionary civilization. This morning, on my daily ravine wall, I returned early because my intuition told me to. I could have forced myself to project and walked my normal route, but then I would have missed an encounter with deer. First I noticed one, then two, and then a third. Then finally a fourth that seemed a bit more nervous than the others. And there was the message I was supposed to receive for the day. One deer was happily eating a maple sapling, and I thought, God does provide for us all whatever it is we need to survive to the next day. The worried fourth deer reminded me of the people caught in an ugly situation, looking for a way out. I said to the deer, relax, and although there was still that fear present, which he sadly might carry around with him for the rest of his life. He indeed may be very sick, just like some people in a situation that has involved far too many people in the animal kingdom, of which we are a part. Mental illness does exist, just as homosexuality does. We need to be more like the deer chewing on the sapling, getting what we need for the day, and not like the projectionist deer, worried and making himself sick. Sickness spreads, just like the flu, and we can help each other get better and not sicker if we maintain our divine connection instead of our own greedy, self-centered projection. When the sun is shining, I know God is intending for the planet to be as He created it, without people doing something to it just to have their way. There is indeed freedom that is in peril, and it's because of people doing things, and their reasoning is for something different than they say. They feel in the land of laws, that they can accomplish getting a desire by disguising it, by being a do-gooder. In my own experience, having been targeted based off of lies, then participants being told it's a game or movie, the do-gooder experience is no good. On top of that, illegal monitoring and recording of me without my knowledge or consent meant living daily with one of the most fundamental rights, right to privacy, being stripped of me and not being able to do a thing about it. Sadly, the participants believing that this group with the secret technology, being the real government, made getting help all that much more difficult. Having to endure torture, both physical and psychological, and not react to it was a mental challenge every single day. It's a wonder that no matter what the temperature, in this historic Arctic spring, the birds are communicating and bringing sound to the world God created. All of God's creatures are meant to experience the gift of existence the same way. The noise man creates is not always in alignment with its surroundings. Machinery, alarms, and whatever else pleases him, including sinful manipulation, deceit, and domination. We as a species are just like every other creature, except one important difference. We think. The paradigm of this characteristic trait is the purpose behind the thinking. It can be for good or for bad, and the gift of choice creates a dilemma for mankind. Media, persuasion, and a deep desire to create community can often result in people saying things with a motive behind it. We learn early that lying to gain acceptance is a rewarding experience in itself. Reward by getting away with something reinforces a thought process that makes the devil in us stronger, and we can spiral into a spiritualist existence quickly and satiate our desire with the imaginary, television, and the internet. We live in a cold world because we seek community through isolationist activities. Each year, we selfishly devote more and more time to ourselves, our wants, and our empty-filled dreams as we trance into a world of make-believe, a screen. Today, we make-believe. The make-believe world means we miss what is right in front of us every day. Mindfulness is an exercise of mental stamina. And in the 21st century, we don't mind much and mindlessly do an automated routine that busies us. Don't confuse movement for process, for progress. Quote is a favorite quote of mine. I don't know where it came from, but because being busy means nothing if it doesn't have a purpose. On a walk today, a couple with a small child stopped to watch a young deer in the ravine. She said, "They're wild animals. We have to give them their space." Too bad us human animals don't do the same for each other. We live in a sad reality today where doing something to others is the way we spend our waking hours. I passed a playground near the ravine, and all the equipment had yellow police murder tape on it. Even our kids can't play. What a sad world. And we're doing it all to ourselves. A sad truth exists. One more cold spring day before temperatures return to normal. Our bodies are not fully protected by law from electronic invasion. Freedom is in peril. because the people who are supposed to protect us most use it to cause harm, havoc, and misery into anyone it chooses to target. Freedom is in peril because of do-gooders, and they can spend money to harass a person to the point of torture and call the authorities at the reactions to the torture they commit. It's a sad day in the world where people can make something up for others to suffer. On the last day of Cold Spring, I drove to Yellow Springs, Ohio, and was refreshed by seeing people being people. A big banner spanning the road read a single word, kindness. I had been through a hell filled with unkindness for 5 years because of one bitter old and crabby woman, Patty Ryan. The disunity and hatred she spreads everywhere she goes is more contagious than COVID-19. I posted flyers around town on message boards and telephone poles. If there is a God, it is found in Yellow Springs, home of Antioch College, the first college to accept both women and African Americans, is an oasis of love, the only power and presence in the universe. Rainbow flags in a smoke shop are proof of this accepting town in the middle of Ohio, a place not always thought of as so liberal.